The blackboard in front of the desk, 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 in front of me screams. But nobody can hear it. Its echoes only reach the last benches of the class where I sit. My ears hurt after a minute. I stand up and yell, "Stop!" Everybody in front of me turns, as if I had stolen all their tiffin boxes just an hour before break and I was caught. The teacher stops writing mid-sentence. Her chalk breaks, falls. The blackboard stops screaming. It is tough to be a 17-year-old with dreams and goals, because blackboards have written down for me rules I must follow after 12 years of school. I hate blackboards. I hate blackboards to the point I may set them to fire, as if they were exam papers that went too bad, as if it were my heart beating in a body no longer alive. It is tough to be a 17-year-old who's written poems on exam papers that were the least poetic, who's been asked to focus on his academics, who's been sent to counselors but for his career and not for his relationships. I no longer feel like going to school. Blackboards make fun of me. They call me all sorts of names. They tell me that my grades aren't good enough, that I'm wearing the wrong socks today, that my future will be determined by a set of numbers they give me, that my report card means more than my art, that I'm living in a bubble. But how do I tell them that this body is the bubble? If you touch it too hard, it may burst and scream. It is tough to be a 17-year-old who wants to follow his passion, because they tell me that my passion is my talent and my talent is just a hobby, and hobbies are meant for leisure and not for careers. But if hobbies were meant to be pursued, then what I conclude is that all artists are screwed. And the Beatles were wrong when they told Jude that he could fix everything and make all bad songs happy, because they said that I could be anything, but they never let me. It is the last day of school today. I will no longer be seeing blackboards ever again, I hope. I smile at the blackboard in my classroom as it starts screaming, but nobody hears it. Its echoes only reach the last benches of the class where we have been sitting for centuries now, writing on desks, painting on walls, singing at the windows, smiling at grown-ups who don't understand us, failing at exams that we were never meant to write. But then the bell rings, the blackboard stops screaming, and everybody in my classroom leaves. But I stay and I write down all of my poems on these blackboards before I leave. I teach them concepts that were never written on their sacred bodies. I then pick up blackboards from every single classroom in my school and place them in the school corridors. Imagine a dozen blackboards stacked up, racked up, piled up together, standing in school corridors, confused, disoriented for the first time in their life. Blackboards will understand how it feels to be in a place where you don't belong. Thank you.